So, welcome back to my show, Between Two to be Determined. My name is Hosty McHost, and you're watching the show I just announced. So, this is our guest today, Minority Man. He's a minority.
It's like a superhero minority man.
Yeah. All right. So, as a minority, how are you affected by the racial wealth gap?
Well, in America, racial wealth gap does exist between white people and usually everyone else. However, it just depends on the severity, depending on how basically non-white you look. So black people and Hispanic people have it the worst, but Asian people don't have it as bad as them, but still exist.
All right.
Yeah.
Besides the New Deal, how did the Great Society increase the racial wealth gap? Black males typically had higher crime rates because of the urban to suburban movements. White families mostly moved to the suburbs,
Sure.
while black families were, secluded to the urban populations because
Sure.
they didn't have enough money to move out. So you could really see an increase in crime in the urban populations and a decrease in crime in the suburban, which further escalated the gap between blacks and whites.
There's this Kanye line. It's the judge, I made it past 25. Actually, it's the Kendrick Lamar line. Where there's statistics saying that a black male today is almost guaranteed to either be dead through gang violence or in jail by the time they're 25. If you're dead, it's very hard to reap Social Security.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Also, if you're a felon, it's very difficult to get jobs, even when you're living in society and you're trying to get used to that. You can also blame globalization for cause of this racial wealth gap. Because with manufacturing jobs and factory jobs and that kind of stuff disappearing from the United States and going to other countries, this helps remove economic opportunities for people who did not go to college. So black people and other minorities. So this kind of just closed opportunities for people to escape poverty and kind of just kept black people and Hispanic people and other minorities in poverty. So, yeah.
We're gonna introduce a new interviewee. This is a sophisticated woman person.
Oh, hello, Hosty McHostface. It's lovely to see you again, my dear.
Lovely to see you.
Mwah. Mwah. Sorry, my hair. It gets very... Well, you know.
Plastic. So, how you doing today?
Womanly.
As a woman, what's your stance on the gender pay gap?
Well, as you know, women earn 77 cents to the man's dollar, and that's outrageous.
So what do you think the causes of this pay gap are?
Technically here, from ages 18 to 30, women out-earn men, but around 30, childbearing age, women take over responsibilities in the home and bear children, in which men
As women
earn
do.
a whole lot of money, and women stagnate. So that's really the cause.
So what do you think could be done to solve this problem?
Well, there's two stances here. You have the Democrats and you have the Republicans. Now, the Democrats believe that the pay gap is an important issue. Under the Obama administration, the Paycheck Fairness Act was a proposed bill that would ensure that women and men are always paid the same. The Republican Congress shut it down. Because Republicans believe that the pay gap comes from a lack of women in higher paying jobs. So what the Republicans want to do is increase availability to these better jobs for women. This is also an issue that minorities face. In fact, often white and Asians are in more white-collar jobs, whereas black and Hispanic people are in blue-collar jobs. Republicans say that the Democrats' plans are an overuse of government power, and that they shouldn't be regulating paychecks because that hurts everybody's jobs. They should be making it easier for women to be getting these higher paying jobs.
Do you think there is any bias in interviewers and hiring women?
Well, maybe. Yeah, well, you know, mothers are 6 times less likely than women without child to be hired for a job. Yes, without a child. Because they are seen as less committed to their jobs by employers, which is outrageous, may I add.
Wow. Wow. Alright, that wraps up our time with Mrs. Female Woman.
Well, it was lovely being here and talking about important issues like the economic inequalities.
We'll be back right after the short commercial break.
I love going all natural. It just makes me feel better. Nothing between me and my 100% all natural, juicy, grass-fed beef.
Introducing the All-Natural Burger, the first ever in fast food. With no antibiotics, no added hormones, and no steroids. Only at Carl's Jr.
Put this in the video, Ben. Woo! Welcome to Ned's Scooter Shack, where we have scooters. And now for the final trick.
Holy shit.
Come to Ned's Scooter Shacks.
What's up, guys? It's Mr. Host Man back with Between Two Person, Places, or Things. I'm at an economic rally and I spot a raging socialist.
I'm a raging socialist. Did you know that in the past 30 years, the median real income has seen 0 increase? Did you know that in the bottom 10%, their weekly wages have actually decreased in the past 30 years? But you know what else? The top 1%, they've been going up, baby, up. You see that? Up. That is not okay. We need to put an end to that. Pause it.
So, Mr. Cerny Banders, why do you think that this bottom 20% is unable to work their way back up in the economic world?
Well, I know why, and you know why. It's because payday loans, this predatory method of stealing the dollars and bills from these low-income families. Okay, payday loans. So imagine this. You're getting not a lot of money on your payday, so you need a little more caboose in your caboose. So you get that caboose, but the loan is a 500% interest rate. 500% interest rate. I repeated myself for emphasis. I'm rambling. I'm gonna say that again.
Alright, so Mr. Bernie Sanders, Cerny Banders, I mean, why is it that these bottom 20% can't make their way back up in the economic world?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, and basically it just comes down to the top 1% screwing the bottom folks. So the first thing is car title loans. So car title loans, they're a big issue because if you need some extra dough in the schmo to pay for your car, you might take a loan out, right? But here's the kicker. Those interest rates, they go up to 300%. 300% a year. That's absurdity. So these poor people, they can't even afford to pay back their loans, and then they lose this stuff. Similarly, payday loans, maybe you need some more schmoosh in your boosh for your bank account because your payday isn't quite covering it. So you might take another loan out, similar to the car title loan. But these have even worse yearly interest rates, going up to 500%. Can you believe that? 500%. So
500?
500%. So these poor people are going to be locked in a cycle of ever-growing debt because they can't pay off these loans that they've taken out just so they can survive and pay for their basic cost of living. The real big one, though, is predatory mortgage lending. That costs American families $25 billion a year. It is crippling the nation. It is increasing the already growing massive disparity between the top 1% and the bottom percent, and that is the real cause of all this income inequality that is ruining our nation.